What's up, y'all? Nico here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about why collaboration is super important if you're a content creator or more specifically a DIY artist, so stay tuned. This video is brought to you by DistroKid. Now, before I get started, I'm actually over here in my home studio slash office slash part closet, I guess. Very messy, as you can see. During this quarantine period, I am planning on moving the studio from here to here. So this is our spare bedroom slash guest room slash storage room. As you can see, it's very messy and we are planning on cleaning it up, hopefully putting some wallpaper up. We thought about painting it, but frankly, we really can't. Our hands are full with the twin girls. If you didn't know, we had twin girls about a month ago and we're barely getting any sleep. As you can see, I'm all raggedy and definitely haven't had an opportunity to shave myself. But nonetheless, this is the future studio slash office space. So I'm pretty excited about it. It's a little bit, I think it's a little bit bigger than the other room. So I'm going to show you guys the process of not renovating, but basically just moving everything from there to here and just kind of upgrading some of the aesthetic of the room, since I'll be shooting a lot more videos in here, as well as continuing to work on my music. So there you have it. Let's get back to the other room. All right, we're back. So I found out that when I was looking through my Spotify stats on my Spotify artists, by the way, DistroKid allows you to link and open up your Spotify artist page through their platform. So let me actually jump into that right now. DistroKid, an amazing platform that I've been using for years. Even if they weren't sponsoring this video, I would shout them out because they are a great source for independent artists like myself, and more specifically, somebody who's just starting to make music. Why? Because they're affordable and they allow you a lot of great perks and features along the way. So you get, for the starting price of about $19.99 a year, you get to upload unlimited amounts of music. And why that's important, I'll speak into in a little bit, but you keep 100% of your royalties. And on top of that, they have some great features like syncing your lyrics onto Apple Music and Instagram stories. You get to have your music obviously put up on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, even TikTok and Instagram stories, like I said. Yeah, they have a lot of different features. In fact, they recently came out with a couple playlists that, you can do your spin the wheel challenge and they'll put you on one of their spin the wheel playlists. So, and why it's important to put out music as continuously and consistently as possible, I think speaks into being someone who, again, is working on their craft, someone who's trying to really hone in on their skill set, number one. Number two, you get to showcase it to the public. So you're able to get feedback from friends, family members. Heck, if you're building up an audience, this is a great opportunity to do that. As you're putting out more music, more content, you're marketing it, you're pushing it out to the masses. Obviously, you want it to be on the popular platforms, right? And number three, I think consistency is key with building any audience, period. So if you're doing this as a hobby or you're trying to start your own little, small business with your music, I definitely consider putting out music as consistently as possible. Obviously, you don't want to overdo it and saturate the market, but at the same time, if you're not putting out music, on a regular basis, your fans are not going to have that top of mind awareness and be looking out for your stuff. So that's something that I try to practice personally. I recently came out with a project called Colombian, and I'll put it in the description link below. I'm coming out with a new single called Culebra, which is actually produced by a good friend of mine, MPax, and we're putting that out together, and that's going to be again distributed through DistroKid. So that's a great advantage of being able to work through them, is that we have the opportunity to release music continuously without necessarily breaking the bank, which leaves more on the table to be able to push it out to the masses through paid advertising and that sort of thing. So that's pretty cool too. All right, so let me go ahead and get into the video, why collaboration is important. So let me jump into my little workstation here and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so I was recently going through my Spotify stats and I noticed that the songs that typically have the highest play count, highest save rate, and just overall had better traction have been the songs where I've actually collaborated with other artists and or producers. Now, not just producers in the sense of, hey, I bought their beat, or I lease their beat and I put out this great song or what have you. But producers in the sense of like, they actually teamed up with me in a collaborative effort and their name is on the actual song. Why? Because people are most likely to push songs where their names are listed, as opposed to just pushing songs where they potentially just sold the beat to you or helped you with the production and they have some sort of writing credits or production credits, but they're not necessarily front and center. And I think it's just something to do with human psychology in some cases, or if you're not a big enough artist yet, they don't necessarily want to just say, hey, you know, I made this song for so-and-so, check it out. I don't know, I could be wrong, but either way, it's worked for me. Now, I'm not saying collaborate for the sake of just trying to get your streams up or your save rate up or trying to help your own Spotify stats up. I think any collaboration should be taken into consideration when good music is actually going to come out of it. So for me, I like to collaborate with artists that I know I can either have a good time making music with, that are talented, gifted, or perhaps that they have similar sounds to me, and that working together is actually going to add some value to the final product, the final production, the final song. If I personally feel that, even though, you know, I may personally admire that artist and it just doesn't make sense for us to collaborate, I wouldn't necessarily pitch that to them. And I would say, unfortunately, in the industry that we're in, a lot of people don't have time to be spreading, you know, themselves too thin, and they're working on themselves, they're working on their own craft and their own brand, which is fine and all. I personally like to have more of a balanced approach. So the reason why I'm telling you guys this is something that people on YouTube constantly push whenever they're trying to grow their YouTube channels. If you haven't already done so, consider collaborating with one or more artists, producers, vocalists, heck, even guitar players or drummers, people that are willing to not only work together with you, but that are pushing their brand as well, and that are trying to essentially scale their music up, scale their audiences up, and hopefully bring something to the table that you on your own can't do by yourself. I'm gonna give you an example of this. The latest song that I've been working on is titled Culebra. In English, it's a Spanish word. In English, it means snake. Now, the premise of the whole song is kind of talking about this like Medusa-like figure, but to me, metaphorically speaking, it talks about a lot of different things that, you know, we as people struggle with, which in essence is, you know, vices, addictions, perhaps unhealthy relationships or unhealthy behaviors, things that at the forefront or on the surface level look appealing, and you might enter into that relationship with them, or you might actually start to engage with that type of behavior or that type of environment, that type of person. But at the end of the day, you're basically coming into a situation that's not healthy for you and pretty much harmful, you know, again, like looking at Medusa in the eyes and just turns you into a rock. So that's the premise of the song, nothing too crazy. So I was able to team up with an amazing producer by the name of MPax, who's had licensing placements on major networks. He's worked with fairly big artists in the past in the Christian hip hop genre, and right now him and I have been teaming up together to try to make more of what would be considered a mainstream music for specifically the Latin market. So the cool thing is we built up this synergy together, that he brings something to the table that I don't have, I bring something to the table that perhaps he doesn't have, and together we combine our efforts to chase one specific goal. We're continuing to pump out music and market it in the right way, where the right listener, the right amount of people listening can actually build up that traction and build that particular song up, and so on and so forth, kind of like a snowball effect, right? So that the next song we put out is even crazier, is even better, sounds even better, and has even more traction to it. And that's really our strategy. Now, the cool thing is, because we both work with DistroKid, it gives us the opportunity to split royalties. Royalty splitting is huge. I can actually go in there and say, hey, can you work with me? I want to go ahead and split the song revenue 50-50. So that way they know that there's something in it for them. You may not necessarily be in a position to continue paying for collaborations. You know, some artists may charge, and I've personally paid for an artist to collaborate with me because I knew that they had a higher platform. I really liked their work and I wanted to kind of mold our sounds together. And so I was in a position where I said, hey, would you consider collaborating with me and my, you know, music partner, if you will, and getting this song off the ground? He said yes, and then he said his rate, and I was like, okay, we can do that. I would say that that type of model is good. However, when you have an opportunity to build a long-term relationship, collaborative relationship with an artist or a producer, I think it benefits the both of you more. That way it's not just a one and done type of thing. In fact, there's a lot of studies in marketing and there's a lot of studies in branding that show that, long-term consistency, specifically when you're starting to build up a brand, is very important. So if you do something just one time and expect results right away, it's probably not going to pick up. Like posting your music to a major channel on YouTube and you hope and pray that it will kind of work out for you. Well, it doesn't just work out like that. You have to do things in a repeated fashion to start building from the ground up, right? Just small little habits, small little practices that you use to build that up. All right, so the reason why I'm saying all of this is, just to sum it up, collaboration is key in building your audiences. Collaboration is key in helping you refine and retune your sound. Sometimes when you bring somebody else into the picture, they'll give you feedback and they may know better than you, and as far as what you can do to tailor your sound to appeal to your audiences better in some cases. That third-party perspective is priceless, especially coming from an artist or producer who actually has that resume behind them to be able to speak into that. Now that you have a collaboration with another artist, building that long-term relationship, you can do so by revenue sharing or royalty splitting, and that can easily be done on DistroKid. So again, shouts out to them for sponsoring this video. I did want to bring them into the picture, but if you use my VIP link in the description below, you get 7% off your membership plan. So definitely consider using them. I just wanted to come from a place of personal experience here when it comes to building my own Spotify and building my own YouTube and building my own platforms on what actually has worked for me in the past. Overall, my collaborations with other artists and producers have, for the most part, done better in a general sense than most of my solo stuff. So that being said, you've made it this far into the video. If you want to go ahead and stay tuned a little bit longer, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do revenue or royalty splitting or sharing on DistroKid. So for your next project or single, you can go ahead and add another artist or producer and you guys can split the revenue so long as both of you have DistroKid.
Appreciate you staying tuned in for this particular part of the video. So you've already logged into DistroKid, presuming that you have a membership plan with them. Again, go ahead and sign up with them today if you haven't done it already. Using my DistroKid link, VIP link in the description below, you get 7% off. It's a great deal already. $19.99 a year, 7% off. Let's get it. All right, so now we are in the DistroKid platform. As you can see, I have a priority account. So some of this stuff may not necessarily look similar to yours, but at the same time, the setup should be the same. I'm gonna go ahead and click on the latest project, and this would be El Colombiano that I've uploaded, Now, in a previous video, you guys saw me syncing my lyrics in through the platform here, so you'll have that checked if you've done that already. If you haven't, you'll have a question mark. So, as mentioned last time, I need to do that for my own project here. But you can see that the team shows 2 people. Why is that? Well, because in this case, I have included my producer on the tracks that he's produced, right? So Pete Rose is my guy, aka Fonzie Pedrosa, and I've included him in the revenue split or the royalty sharing for this particular project because, again, he produced it. I've paid him some upfront, and the rest we were set to split on the back end. So as I'm marketing this project, there's more of an incentive for him to push it. There's more of an incentive for him to continue working with me, and for me to continue pushing this project. He'll also be able to benefit and reap the benefits from this project as well as I continue to market it. Now, to do that, you'll go ahead and go into Edit Team here underneath the team section. Now, this is the way that our splits are set up, 60-40 for the tracks that he's produced. There's one track that I produced myself, so obviously we didn't split that. But there's one particular track that I wanted to show you guys, and it's the VVS featuring Val Morale track. The reason why is because I haven't split with Val yet, so let's go ahead and do that right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a new team member. Now, I don't have him on here yet, so what I'll do is add someone new. Val Morale, I believe his email is valmorale@gmail.com. I'll go ahead and put that in, valmorale@gmail.com. He can correct me if that's incorrect. And that's the cool part, is it doesn't automatically go to them. They have to confirm it. So even if you mess up, they'll have to confirm it, and they'll be able to add that on there for you. So let's go ahead and do a 30-30 split, which really should be 33. So you know what? Let me do this here. I'll do 40, and then I will do 60-60. Cool. All right. So it's literally that simple. You figure out the royalty splits or the revenue shares that you want with your crew, with your person, music business partner, your producer, something that's equitable for the both of you, something that will entice that other person to actually push that project along. And then from there, you know, you can go ahead and do that on this end. So I'll go ahead and scroll down, make sure everything looks good. Review changes. As I review changes, it'll show it to me again, make sure that everything looks good here. Once we save the changes, DistroKid will send an email to everyone on your team with instructions. Non-members will be sent a 50% discount to sign up for DistroKid. So hey, there you go. If they are non-members, they'll actually get an even bigger discount, 50% to sign up for DistroKid. But if you're not already part of DistroKid's network, obviously you won't enjoy the benefit of giving somebody 50% off their membership plan. So therefore, go ahead and sign up with my VIP DistroKid link in the description below. Then we'll save changes. I'll go ahead and put in my password, confirm it, and that's that. Return to home. Now, presuming that you've received, now you're on the receiving end of this side, so you've received an email saying, hey, somebody's added you to the team, you'll actually be emailed a code from DistroKid. So here's where you will put teams, and you'll go ahead and put in got an invite code. You'll type in your code and it'll automatically join you. Well, obviously you have to click join team, but it'll automatically assign the appropriate revenue split for you once that's been figured out on the other end by the user that sent you that DistroKid invite code. For me, as you can see, I have a couple releases here that actually, you know what? I'll have to go here to my music and it'll show me how many songs I'm included in that I haven't personally put out under my own DistroKid, but that I'm getting revenue splits from.
All right, so hopefully you found this informative. Again, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I put out music, I put out lyric videos, my own music videos and that sort of thing, but every now and again I'd like to hop on in front of the camera to just share with you guys what's working for me and perhaps some of the lessons that I've learned through failures and failed attempts at doing something that perhaps didn't work so well for me. One of my music videos actually just hit 100,000 views. You can check it out in the link in the description below. Also, in the beginning of the video, I showed you guys what I'm gonna be doing with my studio. So once the studio space is set up, I'll be doing a home studio tour. So I don't want you guys to miss out on that. Make sure to subscribe to stay tuned when that video comes out and hit that notification bell. Please consider saving the new upcoming single Culebra to your Spotify. So go ahead and hit that pre-save. And again, that hyper follow link is brought to you by DistroKid. So that's another great feature that they have there for artists, is that hyper follow / pre-save link, that whenever you're getting your music uploaded to Spotify specifically, and of course all other channels, but if you have a pre-save function or if you have a pre-order function, they'll go ahead and link it to whatever channel you're using to pre-save or pre-order. So go ahead and check that out, hyper follow. Again, all the links in the description below to all my recording equipment, studio equipment, cheaper alternatives, and then of course the 7% off your DistroKid plan. So sign up today and enjoy that benefit. Until next time, guys, much love. Thanks for watching the video. Leave a legacy. Nico Santana. Peace.